Welcome to the shed. It's your man in the shed, Andy P. Hope you're all well. That's right, it's your grand Shedi Master. So, young Shedis, it happened. Night 2 of Wrestle Mania. Great show. Fantastic. It had fans and it went ahead on time. And there was no rain breaks this time, which was rather nice. So we're just going to have a quick rundown of what happened at WrestleMania. And I've got some news which might interest you, might not. Who knows? But we'll start with a little bit of the wrestling. So, WrestleMania, nice and spectacular again. And it started with your host, Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan. And good news, I've actually found someone in the WWE that can say WWE. Because if you listen to all the others, it's WWE and something. Doesn't really make any sense. But I've actually found someone who can say WWE. And who would have thought it would have been the immortal Hulk Hogan that can say it. So there you are. Hulk Hogan, good news. He can say WWE. Boom, Hogan. Anyway, so the show starts with Randy Orton taking on Bray Wyatt. So, what are we going to get here? So, Bray Wyatt has been burnt. He was set on fire by Randy Orton. And now he's come back. And he's all burnt and that. Anyway, not quite sure how this happened. But he regenerated. Got a slightly different mask to the one before. But he looked pretty awesome. This match was a bit bizarre, to be fair. It had Randy come out first. And then he was followed by Alexa Bliss. And then the Firefly Funhouse music starts for her. And anyway, there's this big Jack-in-the-Box type thing there. So she starts to turn it and makes the music that Jack-in-the-Boxes make. And then Bray Wyatt pops out the top. Oh, who saw that coming? And then all of a sudden he jumps on Randy Orton and they have a pretty okay match. It wasn't the greatest wrestling match you're ever going to see in your life, but it was decent enough. And then you just focusing on these, and then all of a sudden Alexa Bliss is in there. And then there's this black goo, looked a bit like oil, an oil slick going down her face. Which was a bit odd. And then that distracted Bray Wyatt, the one she was supposed to be with. Randy Orton gave him an RKO out of nowhere. And surprise, surprise, Bray Wyatt loses. Who saw that coming? Why do they do this? Bray Wyatt has one of the best characters in WWE for years, but yet they don't want him to win. Not really sure quite why. Then, as in night 1, we have the worst match of the night. It's match 2. So in this one, it was for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Don't really see the point of these belts personally. But yeah, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taking on Natalya and Tamina. There is nobody Mina. In the end, it was Natalya and Tamina. Like I say, take this match or not. You know, it's not one which I'm going to live long in my memory. It was okay. Then we have the United States Championship. So the champion, Matt Riddle, on his little scooter. Don't know what they're on about. He just sort of rolled down the ramp to get to the ring. But they sort of thought it was amazing. And he was taking on Sheamus. And this was a decent match. You've got a good brawler in Sheamus and a technical wrestler in Matt Riddle, a submission artist. And he tried a few on Sheamus. Eventually, Sheamus's power came through, and we have a new United States champion, which was pretty decent for me. Then we have one of the matches I've been most looking forward to. Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn, and Logan Paul came out and watched this match as well. It was a decent match, you know, but it should be. These two have got great chemistry. They've come up through the Indies, NXT, and then into Raw, SmackDown, wherever it is they end up. But these two are two of the best talents in the WWE anyway, so you can't really expect it to be anything but a quality match, which it was. Kevin Owens eventually won. Sami Zayn was all in on his conspiracy theories. Then Logan Paul was trying to shake Kevin Owens' hand, and then Sammy was going mad at him, so Logan Paul pushes him over. Logan Paul's getting loads of boos. He goes and grabs Kevin Owens' hand, sticks him up in the air, and then Kevin Owens is like, yeah, I'm not having that. And, you know, the fans are sort of egging him on. Yep, real fans. And he stuns him. Not really sure why he's using a Stone Cold Stunner all the time. Need to find a new move, Kevin. Let's do something different. You're not Stone Cold. You never will be. Nobody is Stone Cold apart from Stone Cold. So then, after that, we've got the Intercontinental Championship. The champion, Big E, taking on Apollo Crews. These are, you know, two very strong, powerful wrestlers. For me, I did predict it would be Apollo, but they put on a fantastic match. You know, I did think that Night 2's card did look better than Night 1's, and I think in the end, it did prove to be the better show. But yeah, it was a good match, quite enjoyable. Apollo won, new champion. All go home happy with that. Anyway, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a rest from the wrestling. So, have a new idea. So, we've just got an allotment. We are going to do some gardening. And I'm thinking, what would be more fun than doing some gardening on the off of the old internet? But I will not be your man in a shed, Andy P, for this one. I will be your man with his fork. Yes, I will be the big forker. Yeah, you heard it here. And you, my peeps, will not be little shed eyes. You will be little forkers. Is that a plan? Is that an idea? I can see you now giggling into your Rice Krispies. Other cereals are available, but there you go. Don't go for Cocoa Pops. Cocoa Pops are the devil's food, and they're bloody rank. Anyway, let's carry on. So then, the sixth and the penultimate match of the night was for the Raw Women's Championship. So we have the champion Asuka taking on Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley had some band singing her song. Not really sure what the band was called. Not really sure what her song was, but they were pretty decent. And then Asuka comes out with her mask going everywhere. Oh yeah, by the way, sorry, just going to go back a little bit. During the United States Championship match, there was one bit where Riddle flips and does a kick. And then what WWE like to do is have these projections on the TV so you can see the big Roman Reigns when he's out there, and you got these pirates turning up. Well, he does this kick and all these doves come out of nowhere. It's like, you can't do it during a match. Anyway, sorry, just remembered that. Anyway, back to the women's match. Similar to the main event the night before, this was a quality match. Asuka is a fantastic wrestler. She's a legit badass, and you think, yeah, she could actually be this machine. And these two put on a great match. Rhea Ripley, much bigger, much stronger. She did eventually overpower and win. But what a good match. What a fine match. We have a new Raw's Women's Championship, which I'm sure if you watch Raw is really exciting. Personally, I'd rather pull teeth than watch Raw because it's a bit mind-numbingly boring and a bit stupid. SmackDown is the best. Never thought I would be saying that. Anyway, we then have the main event for the Universal Championships. Your champion, Roman Reigns, taking on the Rated R Superstar Edge. and Daniel Bryan. Now, this match was a clinic. It was fantastic. You have got the submission machine technical ability of Daniel Bryan taking on the people's favourite Edge, who obviously has come back. Bit of a technical wrestler, bit of a high flyer, but all round everyone likes Edge. And then you've got the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Now, I personally had Edge down to win this one. And there was stages where it was looking like it could be Edge. There were stages where it was looking like it could be Roman and Daniel Bryan. Also had Jey Uso down there and Paul Heyman. This is one of the things which amuses me about professional wrestling. Okay, so you've got 4 top of the range wrestlers with Jey Uso in with the other 3, and Jey Uso does take a DDT after doing a bit of shenanigans. He done a kick on Daniel Bryan. He then attacks Edge, but Edge then gets back to him and he does a DDT on the steps. Now, then there's medical people coming out and just looking at Jey. So the others are all lying on the ground as well. No one's paying any attention to them, but they grab Jey and they take him out because he looks like he's hurt. Which, to be fair, if I was to be DDT'd into some steel steps, possibly I would need some medical help. But I'm not a professional wrestler, and what these dudes do is they try to keep each other safe and make it look as legit as they can. Little spoiler here for you people. Pro wrestling isn't a real sport. It's predetermined. What does that mean? That means you get a quality main event pretty much every time. Some not so good, but on the whole, you're going to get a lengthy main event where if you were to go to the boxing, within 10 seconds, if one of the boxers wants to give a good punch, that's it. Match over, and you've paid all that money. But at least in wrestling, you know you're going to get a lengthy main event, and I prefer that. It's one of those things, and I'm going to probably do a video about this a bit later, is how ludicrous pro wrestling really is. But I'm not going to talk about that now. That's for another time. Anyway, excellent match this one. And towards the end, so we've had all that. It's going back and forth. And then Edge gets control. And he's going to do the concerto. He does a concerto where he gets one chair to hit another chair, and in the middle of that is Daniel Bryan's head. He hits that. Daniel Bryan is basically knocked out now, and he goes to do it to Roman, but who knew? Jey Uso comes back and he attacks Edge. Then Roman does a spear on him. He drags him over. Daniel Bryan pins both of them at the same time, and your head of the table is still Universal Champion, which means I now owe £3 because £2 is going to Rob Dog and £1 is going to Tom. Well done, guys. But I thought I'd get my review in before I do that. But yep, you can have that. So let me see what you thought about the second night of WrestleMania. Did you prefer the first night? Or like me, did you prefer the second night? Let us know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a share if you could. And that would be fantastic. Hope you're all well. Like I say, haircut today. So this filthy looking mop is going to be trimmed. And then it's off to the allotment to do a bit of gardening. But there you go. Anyway, have yourself a lovely day. The sun is out today. It's warming up, which is fabulous. And I hope you all have a nice day. See you, pals.